Hey, what's up, witches? It's been a while since I've made a video doing like an altar update, especially where my Odin and Loki altar is concerned, so let's do that today. So I figured it would be a good time to do a just chill show and tell type video where I show you my current Odin Loki altar setup, because I think the last time I showed off this altar, this like wood burning piece back here wasn't even finished yet, and we've added a couple more really cool pieces to it in that time on top of that being finished. So let me flip the camera around and I'll give you a little tour of what's on my altar for Odin and Loki. So here's the current setup, still on the old Goodwill table back here. In the back we have my completed wood burning piece, which took me like over a year to finish because I insisted on doing it almost like pointillism style for the background of the night sky, which meant like one little tiny wood burn dot at a time, but I just really wanted it to have a cool textured effect. I ended up just kind of picking two runes at random to put on these like standing stones back here, and it ended up being Kanaz on the left, which is ironic because left side being, you know, the sinister path, the left-hand path is the Loki side of the altar, obviously, and Kanaz is a rune that I associate with him. And then here we have Sowilo, which is the victory rune, and like Odin is kind of, yeah, like the victory granter, victory father, Valfather, so. Ended up being strangely appropriate. You'll see Hugin and Moonin up there, and then this pattern, this design that I found on Pinterest and kind of copied, has all of these like hidden ansus in it as well, and like little rune shapes in the trees. So I really liked that. Glad it's finally finished. And the other thing I like about it is that it's durable, so I will actually use it as like a portable altar piece sometimes. It's a little big, so I don't travel with it very often, but I have brought it to gatherings before. Phone is trying to escape the tripod captain. So as you can see front and center here, I have this cool little backflow incense cone burner, which is one of my more recent purchases for this altar, just because I've been wanting one for a while because I just think they're really cool. And also for me, it's a meditation aid because I have a really hard time sitting still for a long time to meditate, so I figured that I would want to sit and watch this incense cone burn down because it's just, yeah, like I said, really cool and somewhat hypnotic to look at. And I think it's fun to burn a cone of dragon's blood, of course. What else? For Odin and Loki. And since it kind of splits into two paths in the middle before coming back down into this pool, which is very like Well of Weird, it's fun to watch the patterns of the smoke and how they'll divide between the Odin and Loki altar. And that's kind of how I'll see a fun play of how like the spiritual energy that I'm giving or offering is being divided betwixt the two of them. When I first brought it home and I gave the first cone that I burned solely to Odin, and it was interesting because like even though it's supposed to be doing this, the first cone that I burnt, like all the smoke ended up just going off to the right side and feeding Odin, if you will. Anyway, back here is a very cool labradorite sphere, which was a recent gift from someone in the community to my husband, and I am super jealous of this guy because I love labradorite. I love that iridescent effect that it has under the surface like that, and I think this is going to make not only a badass scrying stone, but it also kind of looks like an eye and is giving very Lord of the Rings Palantir vibes. So of course that ended up making its home on the Odin Loki altar, kind of here in the middle. Behind that, it's a little hard to see tucked away, but I have this orca agate that my coworker gave to me, And it was outside on the Thor altar because it kind of looked like a storm cloud to me. So I did have it outside, but I didn't want it to get like too damaged and beat up with the winter weather that we get here. So I brought it inside to live on his dad's altar for the winter, which I thought was ended up being kind of cute. And then yeah, I have these deity candles for Odin and Loki that I made. I think I might have talked about it in my dollar store haul video, where you can buy really cheap plain pillar candles from the dollar store. And then I just had my husband print out some photos on sticky paper and cut them out and stuck them on there. Bada bing, bada boom. Deity candles. And then these are the original ones that I've had on here forever that I just bought from Target. So usually I'll light one or typically both when I really want to spend some dedicated time at the altar with them and like really get their attention, if you want to call it that. Yeah, I will light the candles up there. And then for me, I don't know if I really talked about it in my how I talk to the gods video, but just especially on this altar, like watching the two flames and depending on like the size or like the movement of the flames, also in kind of interpreting that as like who is more present in their energy, who is being more quote unquote talkative that day. Hint, usually Loki, because yeah, like his flame will be like this high and just going crazy, whereas like the Odin candle will usually be like more steady, constant candlelight, but sometimes it will like pop off and go crazy. So yeah, I definitely will sometimes take that to be interpreted as like a way of communicating with the deities or just their energy. Then I have, yeah, of course, the two antlers, which were early gifts from another fellow pagan that I want to say we got those from a pagan that my husband worked with. Owl feather, which was a recent gift from the last like heathen coven retreat that we went to, which I have these 3 Odin spell jars sitting here that I made a while ago, like before the solstice, and they're supposed to be Odin spell jars that I was going to bring and give to people at that retreat, and then I totally forgot them here. So I just kind of took that as a sign that it was not the right time or place to give them out yet, and I definitely want to make more, so we'll see how that goes. Some sage here, which we just left after using it in the house. My little brazier for burning charcoal to burn like herbs and stuff on as offerings. Some black salt that we also got at the last retreat. This is just a little like cute air dry clay crow statue that I made for my husband, and it ended up coming here to live. And then another cute little jet or obsidian carved crow that I think he was also given as a gift by someone, so kind of a little Hugin and Moon in there as well. This is a polymer clay sculpture that I made a while back, and it's very like Janus, the two-faced Greek god, but Odin and Loki to kind of, yeah, represent the dual nature of my altar, and I think the dual nature of them as well, with some stones that I just picked up along the way, incorporated into it, a carnelian, and this cool like petrified ammonite, which was very like yin-yang, black and white, Odin Loki energy to me, so that got incorporated in there. My altar cloth is just like a tarot cloth, but I like the way it looks on here. It really needs cleaned, as does my little incense burner here. I definitely need to spend some time cleaning my altars here soon because it's been a while. The dual drinking horns that I've had here forever for pouring liquid offerings out for both of them. Usually I'll pour to Odin first, since he was, you know, the original one that I introduced myself to and sought to connect with. So just out of respect for him as like the person that, as the deity that I sought out and wanted to work with, and, you know, just with him being the Allfather or whatever, it's just, I feel respectful to pour out to him first, and then I'll give Loki some. And even when I'm offering food here to, like, usually I'll give Loki candy or snacks or like shared treats with them that I've made. And even though it's kind of said in the myth that Odin either can't or doesn't need to eat and drink, I still think it's polite if I'm giving something to Loki, I will leave some for him too. I figure even if he doesn't want it, he can always give it to his ravens or his wolves, Gary and Fricky. We have some deer vertebrae here, which were gifts from one of our first gatherings, and then I think just like a little quartz sphere on this side, and this is, I want to say, is like some type of jasper or maybe serpentite, but it just looked like a cool little like candy egg almost. It reminds me of like a Cadbury egg, but also like a serpent egg almost. It has like almost a little like Ouroboros in it there, but as soon as I saw that, I knew I had to pick it up for Loki. And then back there is some like ashes from a Loki bloat fire that I was given at a gathering. A little Loki, little cheeky Loki painted on a shoulder blade. I'm not sure what from, but I do think it's a shoulder blade by someone in the community. And then some fireball, which I meant to also take with me to give to him as an offering at one point, but it still lives there until such time as he or I sees fit to use it. Another like cute little cheeky Halloween decoration spider that was left on my desk at work, so I ended up bringing it home to give to him. Some lucky pennies. I think I talked in my latest video, like working with Loki part 2, about how I like to give him lucky pennies that I find on the ground because I view him as somewhat of a deity of probability and chance, and therefore perhaps can also, if he's feeling friendly that day, he can give us good luck as well as the bad, you know. That's pretty much everything that I have on there. Like inside this wooden box, there's a couple more just like random crystals and gemstones. But really, the the labradorite sphere showing off the finished wood burning, and then yeah, just showing off some other cool little trinkets and adornments and odds and ends that we've picked up or been given along the way, which are just slowly building the very cool energy and vibes of this altar. Hi, Merlin. This is also where my little ritual staff lives when it's not at a gathering with me. But yeah, I'm really proud of this and the way it's turned out, considering that it just started as this table with pretty much nothing on it aside from random things that I could find around my house. Like now it's definitely really grown into a fully formed altar. But yeah, there you have it. That is probably going to be the setup of this Odin Loki altar for the foreseeable future, because I really like the way it looks and everything that we have on it right now, and hopefully like with the addition of the incense burner and the labradorite sphere, which like I said, I think would be like good for perhaps scrying and meditation. I think it will hopefully be a lot easier for me to spend some time here. I put this on a low table that could be sat in front of for a reason, so I definitely hope to be doing more of that in the coming year and still working on developing my meditation and communing with deity practices. So I'm gonna leave this video here because my cat is being super annoying in the background since I won't pay attention to him while I'm doing this. And until next time, stay classy, pagans.